Today is National Human Traffic Awareness Day in the U.S. But here in Canada, we want to keep working to do whatever we can to stop this horrific trade, which impacts over 20 million people worldwide. Wow, Cheryl, what's 29. Crossroads doing?
Yeah, well, Crossroads Relief and Development, we've had a long history of working in Cambodia, where trafficking for many years, it just seemed to flourish unabated. Thankfully, in recent years, we're seeing appreciable progress, both in stopping the traffickers and helping the victims. But
that's a huge statement, what you just said.
Oh, there's lots of work to be done, but really what God has been doing there and so many faithful organizations working there, it's been amazing.
You asked me what I've liked so far. I love the fact that Crossroads is making a difference throughout the world.
Me too. This is so close to my heart. And we've had to recognize that it's not just happening over there, but it's happening right here in Canada, right outside our front doors. Last year, we launched a partnership with Beauty for Ashes Transformation House in rural Ontario. It's giving exploited and addicted women an opportunity to heal and start again. Joining us now, come on in, is Maggie Baratto, the founder of Transformation House. Thanks so much for coming.
Maggie, we're glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
It's just a huge undertaking that you have, and God is enabling you to do this work of ministry, of restoration in the lives of broken women and seeing them become whole.
Yes.
Where does the problem really start?
Wow. We're finding that a lot of the women that we work with, the problem has started for a lot of them in their childhood.
So right in the home,
yes,
with family members taking advantage of them and committing horrific acts.
Yes, yeah.
And it's that broken families is at the root of it. And really, when you talk about somebody makes a decision to leave that life or for some reason gets out of it, but how do they stay out of it? And how do they stop from being re-victimized? Because a lot of these predators, they just see these women and they just know, oh, that's somebody I can exploit. So how do you start that process?
Right. That's an interesting question. What we're finding with the Beauty for Ashes Transformation House, God has called us to open this home, and it really is the Father's vision and what He wants to do to bring healing to the women who've been caught in sex trafficking. And so when we meet the women, they're in a place in their journey where they're ready. Where they're ready to make that change. And so we offer them a home environment, a loving home environment. When we first started the home, God spoke to me and said, I want you to develop a reproducible template. And I have found in the last year of being opening, that reproducible template is actually the template of family. And so it's providing them a loving environment where they can start to begin to feel, because a lot of them have numbed out their emotions through addiction, and so they're able to express their emotion, develop emotional regulation. They're able to be supported in a loving environment and develop healthy boundaries and begin to establish healthy relationships with people around them that care for them.
Maybe to experience for the first time what normal really is supposed to be. Although if anybody really knows what normal is, but certainly what they've gone through is anything but that.
Yeah.
I think about, I say to you sometimes, Maggie, this is like extreme parenting, basically what you're doing in a way. But it's more than that too, because you have to walk them through things like forgiveness. I mean, that is a Christian value, but it's something that they can't really get set free from when they're in bitterness and anger and all the shame that goes with that. So really working through the abuse and the trauma. Like, how do you ask a woman who's been, say, manipulated and abused and trafficked by a pimp, how do you ever say to her, oh, you need to forgive that guy?
Right. So we offer an intensive care program that our staff conducts. So once a week, the women are introduced through that program to the concepts and the godly principles. And so one of those being forgiveness. And so when the women find out that they can be forgiven, that the shame and the condemnation and the unworthiness in their heart can be released, they experience that encounter with God's love through Jesus Christ. And when that happens, they develop the courage and the grace to then extend forgiveness. And forgiveness is key to healing. When we originally started, we had thought, oh, we'll only have women working with these women. That was wrong. We find that the men on our team, the godly men on our team, are so key. Because a lot of these women have been wounded and hurt through men, God is using godly men to be vessels of healing.
There's a whole mantle of shame that I've seen as a pastor across Canada that just comes over women when they've been victimized like this. And to hear you working with them in such a way to lift that mantle of shame, to understand who they are when Jesus Christ comes in and transforms our lives, that is so powerful. I only wish I had met you 20, 30 years ago as I began my ministry across
Yeah.
Canada, because there's brokenness everywhere.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
excites you so much about your ministry?
What excites me the most is this wasn't my idea. This was a Father's idea. And I was just talking earlier with Cheryl and was saying how God reminded me this morning, several years ago, he said, much of what you're going to see in the Healing Revival in Canada will have to do with the emotions, the healing of the emotions. And I said, Father, how would you heal the emotions? And he said, I will heal their emotions with my emotions. That's what excites
What does that
me.
mean? Is that kind of like like getting a feeling of how God loves you, like getting a feeling of how he feels about you? Is that what that means?
Absolutely. The transformation that is happening in these women is they are getting a sense of what Father, what their Creator thinks of them, that worth and that value, their true identity.
Oh, I love that.
That's where the healing comes.
Those are words that you need several books. You could fill them with the words just to describe what that means and the emotions.
Yeah,
So much joy, so much healing.
yeah.
Maggie, we are so excited by what you are doing, and we just want to continue to pray for you as the Crossroads family. You've been listening to Maggie Baratto, and with her ministry, Beauty for Ashes, the Transformation House is taking place in rural Ontario. And may God just continue to bless you.